Yesterday, Celeste and I are out having a wonderful dinner at Top Shelf, by the way. Great little place. And I'm looking up at the screen, and she says, so, are you enjoying the World Cup? And I said, yeah, I am, if I only had any idea of what's going on. But folks joining us who can tell us everything that's going on, please welcome Jason Moore, the number one overall draft pick in the MLS in 1999, who has a great story to tell us and who has a wonderful event coming up in this area. Jason, who's partnered with Sidekick Soccer Academy, is going to be in attendance to sign autographs and speak before an audience at the North Dartmouth Mall at the Cinema 12 for the motion picture Next Goal Wins that screens at the mall on Wednesday, June 25th. It's a fabulous, fabulous movie. You ought to see this. Q&A and autographs, photographs with Jason Moore, who joins me right now. Thank you so very, very much, Jason. It's a pleasure to have you on the show with me.
Hey, Phil, this is Jason. It's great to be on the show. Thanks a lot for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. So, from your accent, what part of Maine are you from?
Well, there is Augusta, Maine, down in Georgia.
I know Augusta.
There we go. I'm sure you know Savannah, so it's down in that neck of the woods.
Welcome aboard. Lovely to have you with us. We already have folks listening in our audience who want to say good morning and ask you some questions. But before we get to that, let's go way, way back to Georgia. And whatever got you involved or interested, what was that one thing that really reached out and pulled you into soccer?
Wow, that's a good question. That's kind of a loaded question. Well, I mean, if my recollection serves me correctly, it was no one played in the family, so I'm not sure if it was. I can't say it was, in the genes, so to speak, but it was. I started when I was about 4 years old playing, and like a lot of the young Americans nowadays, playing town soccer and up through the ranks, club soccer into high school and college into pro. So, I really feel like the dedication of my parents, transport me around. A lot of parents can probably relate to that with, making the rounds with all the different trainings for soccer and all the different sports going on nowadays. But
sure.
So it paid off. The hard work paid off, and eventually, I fulfilled my dreams with some of that hard work. So.
Absolutely. Tell us about your dreams, where they started and where you ended up in your professional soccer career.
Well, it's been a long journey. I'd say it really kind of took off when I got a scholarship to the University of Virginia, which I was coached under George Gelnovich and played a year and a semester. I was at UVA and played 2 seasons with them. Had the opportunity to make it to a national championship and played UCLA. And we ended up losing that game, but however, that kind of gave me that platform to lead me into the pros, and I was drafted number 1 to DC United and played about five years in the MLS, and here I am today.
Unbelievable. Talk to me about your years in the major leagues. What was it like? Tell me a little bit about what went through you these 5 years that you are a star, that you were truly applauded nationally for your skills.
I would say, in terms of just the recognition you get from having that, like you said, the national exposure and on that level, really a lot of what I accomplished came from great coaching. Coaching at University of Virginia, George was able to kind of pull me aside and say, listen, your future's looking bright. And, in terms of MLS teams interested in having you on board. So really felt at that time in college that it was an opportunity I really couldn't pass up to go number one in the draft. And looking back, don't get me wrong, it'd be great to have a 4-year degree at University of Virginia, but
Right.
Soccer's changed a lot, and you can kind of see that now, kind of a segue into the World Cup today, and
Sure.
and currently how soccer is really taken on a life of its own in the U.S.
Folks, we are with Jason Moore, who has teamed up with Sidekick Soccer Academy. And we have Zach Rocha to thank for making today's appearance possible and announcing that Next Goal Wins is going to be coming to our North Dartmouth Mall cinemas, along with the pre-screening talk with Jason, the former number one pick in Major League Soccer, Wednesday, June 25th, AMC North Dartmouth Mall. And you're partnered with Sidekick Soccer Academy. Hopefully lots will be in attendance, Jason, to have you sign autographs, take photographs, speak to the audience before Next Goal Wins. And I'll ask you about the movie in just a minute. But you're going to be speaking at 6:30 in the evening, and then the movie screens at 7:30. And, folks, tickets are only $10. You have to bring the kids, really. And please get your tickets ahead of time. You can go to sidekicksocceracademy.com. Is there any place else that we can get tickets, Jason?
You know what? I think that's probably the best spot. Like you mentioned, Zach, the owner and founder over it. It's been a pleasure working with him. I just wanted to make that known. And my academy, Moore Soccer Academy, has been able to partner up on a few projects with him. And but yeah, I think that would be the best avenue to take in terms of tickets. Or they can reach out to me directly at my direct contact 978-559-9096 if they have any questions, and I can kind of steer them in the right direction.
Very good. I'll give out that number a little later on as well. Again, 978-559-9096 to chat with Jason Moore. In the meanwhile, as we go to the phone lines, any questions that you might have about the World Cup frenzy? Being here in New Bedford, Jason, we have a lot. We're deep-seated in rich ethnicity, and we have a diverse culture here in New Bedford, and soccer gets people to go absolutely crazy. So let me ask you, my burning question is this. It's called soccer, a.k.a. football, a.k.a. not that kind of football. So help this perplexed fan here. Help me out. Why do they call it football?
Well, it is interesting because you get that question all the time, and from fans, American fans that say, "Where are you playing? You're playing soccer, but they call it football over in Europe, but it's not American football," and it can be kind of confusing to just the average fan out there. But I'm sure there's some history on it dating back European from calling it football, and but I wouldn't be able to give you the lineage on that.
Right.
I was just a player, so.
Yep.
Where it took care of the playing part of it. So.
Gotcha. Jason Moore, let's go to the phone lines at 996-0500 if you have any questions about the event itself or, yesterday's game. What did you think about yesterday's Team USA game, Jason?
Well, you hear people say it time and time again. It's all about the result. So they grinded out a result. And they got a win. They move on to the next game. So I think that's the biggest part about it, which was great. I think, just when you thought it was going to end in a tie, or maybe Ghana had some momentum going there at the end of the game, U.S. found a way to put another goal in the back of the net. So I think it's great for U.S. soccer as a whole, and I think it's, they're going to, obviously be playing against some difficult teams, Portugal, but anything's possible in the game of soccer, and that's the exciting part about it. The 1 or 2 goals is what it comes down to. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Let's go to our phone lines at 996-0500. Caller first, thank you very much for listening, and say hello to Jason Moore.
Hey, Jason. This is Dan Rollins. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Dan. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing really well. You just had talked about yesterday's game. It was great we found a way to win, but my question is, what will it take for the U.S. not to be considered inferior or an underdog team in the world of soccer? And, for example, yesterday we're playing Ghana, who they're ranked 37th in the world, and you've got U.S. ranked 13th. And if you would have watched the game, it looked like the U.S. were ranked 37th and Ghana was ranked 13th. So, what's your take on the style of the U.S. and how can we become a more dominant team?
Dan, that's a great question. I would have to say, the rankings. I mean, you look around at all the other teams in the Cup right now, and the rankings don't really. They only say so much. I think in terms of for the U.S. Yesterday on the field, getting the win, and how far we've come with Jurgen Klinsmann being in there as the coach. I really think he's bringing. To answer your question, he's bringing a different mentality and philosophy to the table, and I think the players are starting to pick up on that. I mean, we're kind of a young team. Obviously, you look out there, we don't have a lot of experienced caps with the World Cup, and even a team like Ghana that's ranked behind us have more experience out there with guys playing over in Europe, and with us not bringing Landon Donovan out there, who could have been plugged in my opinion, when Josie Altidore came out with that experience, just having his presence on the field. I think there's a couple of different ways you can look at it. So, but at the end of the day, you're exactly right about your question in terms of what can we expect, and when can we expect for the U.S. to walk out on that field and not be considered the underdog? And I really think, if we're going to be realistic about this, I think we have many more years to go before we can walk out there and have that kind of presence and that confidence. But I think we're making progress, and it showed yesterday.
Yeah, I think if we had a few more Jason Moores out there, I think we would be able to be a bit more confident in the World Cup. So hopefully we'll be able to produce a few more of those guys.
Hey, well, Dan, I appreciate those kind words. I wish I could actually be out there, but, I might have pulled a hamstring too, like Josie.
All right, man. Well, it was great chatting with you, and all the best moving forward.
Thanks
a lot, Dan, for your call.
Great call. And was Dan part of the team or a player or just a fan?
I think Dan is not a name that registers for me. He sounds like a fan, I guess, just a diehard U.S. fan.
Yep. With soccer, by the way, folks, Jason Moore, my special guest, and a delight to welcome Jason to the program. And we're going to want to remind you the Sidekick Soccer Academy is excited that it's hosting a screening of Next Goal Wins, along with a pre-screening talk with the former #1 pick in Major League Soccer, Jason Moore, who's joining me right now. The film is going to screen on Wednesday, June 25th. It's only $10, North Dartmouth Mall. Jason's going to give a pre-screening talk, sign autographs. You can take photographs with him, and then you're going to see Next Goal Wins. Before we go to our next call, tickets only $10. Give us a sense of Next Goal Wins. What is it about?
It's just to give you an overview. I mean, one of the main reasons I've kind of was interested and kind of open to working this appearance with Zach was Thomas Longen was actually, his involvement in the movie was my coach when I got drafted to DC United. So he drafted me out of college, and, I played my first year there and won a championship with him. So from that standpoint, I'm just trying to support him and what he's doing, his efforts with the movie, and pretty close with his family as well. So the movie itself, I think it's about a team that actually does not do very well. So it's kind of just a feel-good type story from a soccer perspective, and just the hard work that they put in, how they kind of come together as a family, and kind of push through some trying times. So it should be one of those movies that you take your kids out to, and you get some satisfaction from just seeing soccer played at a level that really in a country that that doesn't have a lot, doesn't come from a lot, but come together, like I said, and have that that just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just that really sense of being together and coming together, that camaraderie. So I think it'll be a great movie to bring your kids out to and learn a lot about the game.
Yeah, that's great. 508-996-0500 to say hello to Jason Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to the phone lines. Welcome. Nice to have you.
Phil. Hi, Jason. How you doing?
Hello there, Tom.
Jason, we got the 3 points, and that's good. I'm sad about Josie Altidore, but for me, I thought Jones played an unbelievable game. I thought he was the best player out there for us. And that was important. I have questions about the kid from Iceland that was born in Alabama. It looked like the stage was a little bit too big for him, even though, he tried his best out there. You could tell he wasn't at the level. So how are we going to support Dempsey in the front? The first question. Second question, and it's a big one, our city is 70% Portuguese surname. This game coming up on Sunday is going to be an unbelievable feeling throughout the city with all the Portuguese support they have here. I'm surprised they haven't built a church to Ronaldo yet. But certainly where he doesn't have Real Madrid in his supporting cast, it showed in the last game. So they've got to change their formula, and with Pepe out with a red card, that bodes well for us. I think somehow midfield's got to get a little bit stronger than what they showed against Ghana. They weren't all that impressive against Ghana. So with this game coming up on Sunday, where we've got 3 points, I think we could actually beat Portugal if we have a stellar game. And I think that I love the way that Klinsmann's changed it. With Tab Ramos, I think, the defensive posture that we used to have all the time was out of necessity, but he's got them playing wide open, and he went with youth and speed. I think that's one of the reasons why Donovan isn't there, although I still think that was a mistake. He should have been on the team. We could use him right about now with the injuries. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. There's a lot of different aspects of the game of soccer, and to kind of just feed off of what you were talking about with Donovan, because you've seen him doing some commentary and stuff, which I'm sure it's tough for him to kind of sit there and watch this go on. But yeah, I mean, I think with what we have there at the World Cup, I think somebody like Chris Wondolowski, somebody like him, you saw him warming up during the game, to come on and really, like you said, Johansson, I think that's who you're probably referring to, that came in for Josie. I expected a little bit more from him.
Yeah, so did I.
Just to hold the ball up. I think he's just not. You can tell at this level, he just kind of he really never found the game yesterday. I'm not sure if it was just the game itself, but I think we need somebody that's a little bit more active, energized, and that's where that youthful part comes in, where maybe somebody like Wondolowski just come in there and just wreak havoc and put a lot of pressure on their defense.
Yeah.
Also, to go hand in hand with that, with Portugal, I mean, they're coming off, like you said, the card. The thing is, these things happen in the game of soccer, and I think someone like Portugal and with Ronaldo, and you almost get the feeling that when they played the other day and got beat pretty bad, that, they're already looking. I think their mindset was, you know what, we're not the best team against Germany. And I think that respect factor, that someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, not only did they have that respect for him, but I think even by halftime he was thinking, you know what, this is our first game. We have Ghana, or we have the U.S. in our group, and we have Ghana in our group. And I think, and Germany's outplaying us today, so, we're going to have to, we might have to take a hit today, and then the red card to go along with that. But I think they were already anticipating this game coming up with the U.S. saying, okay, let's move forward from this point. Cristiano's kind of getting back in shape. He's been out of the game a little bit. So I think he almost used that game as a fitness to get his fitness back up there. You didn't really see him too active in the game and involved. Maybe the first 10 minutes of the game. He was
nothing. Wasn't very impressed by him. I thought Messi played a better game with Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
terms of style and effort and
100%. So to answer your question, I think we have a shot. The thing is we find a way, the U.S., to grind out results, and we've done it, and history shows that. We've done that with Portugal. We did that with Ghana last night. Like you said, Ghana. I think Ghana, especially the second half, outplayed us and probably could have ended up beating us. But just from a pure standpoint of going out there and fighting till the end, that's something we've always had, even back to when Marcelo Balboa and Lexi Laws and those guys used to play. It was just
wonderful
stuff. Heart and determination. Now we're playing a little bit better soccer, like you said, with Klinsmann in there, and you add that component to the game, and we can kind of grind out results. But we have years to go until we can get out there and just really know that the American fans are saying we can really take it to an Argentina, or we can take it to a Germany and just kind of rise to the occasion, not just grind results out. So it's progress, not perfection. But this Portugal game, Germany is just frightening because they're so good right now.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
And but Portugal, that could go either way. That could be, if we can get an early goal like Dempsey, just pull off one of his goals and then just kind of bunker in.
That was a beautiful thing, wasn't it?
That was just, it was incredible. I was with him with the Revolution, so it was great to see him kind of go on and do what he's doing, and just hopefully his nose is okay. I heard it might be broken. So
yeah, it was like it broke. Yep. Yeah, the last thing is our community back in the 1930 World Cup in the greater New Bedford community in Fall River had 7 players on that first World Cup team. One of them was a neighbor of mine by the name of Arnie All. He's in the Soccer Hall of Fame. So whatever you think of the area, this is soccer country, believe me. And this game Sunday is going to be a big one.
You bet. Tom,
all right.
Thank you so much.
Jason, see you.
Hey, thanks a lot, and bring your kids out to the screening. We'd love to see you and meet you out there, shake your hand.
All right.
That's great, Tom. Let me take in one more quick phone call with Jason Moore. Go right ahead, caller. We have a few minutes left. Go right ahead, caller. You're on with Jason Moore. Jason, let me ask you this question. How long were you with the Revolution?
I was with them for 1 year. That kind of ended my my soccer career. They were the final team I played for.
Right. And now you have your own soccer academy?
I do. I started that about 3 years ago, going on 3 years, about the same time Zach started Sidekick Soccer Academy.
Yeah.
And it's going very well. We had a coaching stint. Me and Zach is where we originally met with Greater Lowell United, a team that they're trying to start up an amateur team, and that didn't pan out. We've kind of kept in contact and really saw the vision of each other's academies and have partnered up, and he's a great guy. So I have a lot of good things to say about him.
And you know what? I partner with you on that. He truly is, and so are you, Jason.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, I want to make a reminder here for folks just tuning in that Jason Moore is going to be at the North Dartmouth Mall Cinemas on Wednesday, June 25th. And Jason's going to speak at 6:30 before the movie screens. It's a great movie. Next Goal Wins at 7:30. Jason will be there to sign autographs, take photographs with your kids. Make sure that you come out there. Finally, Jason, GQ Magazine says Next Goal Wins is a story of courage, hope, and redemption that will restore your faith in the beautiful game. And I guess that's the best way to put it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that kind of sums it up. It's one of those inspirational, feel-good type movies that's going to, they've got them in all different sports. They got the basketball movies kind of like that, the Pistol Pete,
Yep.
Going back, and I think, and they got the baseball movies kind of like that. And this is one of those soccer movies that's more modern day, I think, and will really bring something to the table for kids to see how, other families live in other countries and that don't have as much as we do, and also how soccer, the community of soccer, really can give young kids opportunity to move on and excel playing soccer, and also give them other skill sets to take in life. And if they don't end up playing soccer, they end up going on and being successful at doing something else. So
Sure.
it's great.
Jason Moore can be contacted. His phone number is 978-559-9096. And you can get tickets for Next Goal Wins at SidekickSoccerAcademy.com. Terrific job. Thank you so much for making time out of your day, Jason. A real delight to have you on the air with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again.
You betcha. Thank you so much, my friend.
Have a great day.
You as well. Jason Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the reason I didn't ask Jason about his prediction for who ultimately will win the World Cup is because I want you to ask him in person. Join Sidekick Soccer Academy, Zach Rocha, and all of the kids and adults too. All of you soccer lovers, go on out to the North Dartmouth Mall. Have a chat with him. You're going to really enjoy speaking and having photographs taken with Jason Moore, the former #1 pick in the Major League. We have news coming up next. Is that Jay? That is Jay. Welcome aboard, Jay.
Hi, Phil. How are you?
I'm doing great, my friend. We have we have Jay Rogers right here in our newsroom, and we have Jack, who's on vacation, right?
He is. He's taking a well-deserved week off.
Is he going to Honolulu? Or?
I hope so. I'd like to, except I would do it in December, January. I've been to Belize in February.
News is next.